to him the way it would stick to another person. So, special being, definitely, to be sure, but everybody is special in one way or another. I would say that everyone can aspire to and even to some degree achieve that level of awareness that Jesus had.
Mm, amazing. Tell me about your work in Lightbridge for those that are new. What have you seen happen, and what are some of the basic premises of Lightbridge?
Well, I've seen a lot of trauma fall away. And when trauma falls away, physical ailments and so forth end up healing as well. So I do a lot of trauma clearing work. I do a lot of work around helping people figure out what their triggers are and what their buttons are, what causes them to erupt into an emotional state of mind that is holding them back. And everything that I do is based on the notion that you create your reality through
Mm,
your thoughts, your beliefs, your judgments, your expectations, your biases, your emotions, your traumatic history, and so forth. So you are a very, very powerful creator. You may not always create what you desire, because your energetic orientation is leaning in the direction of want rather than desire. So, what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is it's really important to have an understanding of the difference between wants and desires. We can use the two words interchangeably, but when I want something, what that really means is that I lack something and that I'm feeling the pain of not having it.
mhm.
When I desire something, just like you were talking about a few minutes ago, I'm in the feeling of what it would be like to have this desire met, even if it hasn't happened yet. And I can savor that feeling. So if I'm creating my universe, if I'm creating my experience in the world through my thoughts, my beliefs, emotions, and so forth, if my emotions are always on the negative side of the ledger, if I'm always worried about paying the rent and the physical pain that I have, and oh my God, I have to meet the in laws next week, what's going to happen, and all the rest
Right.
of it, then that's actually the pulse of energy that I'm radiating out into the universe, and that's what I get in return. I get more of that. So it's crucial to get people to um, identify what their true desires are and inhabit that energy. And then it's amazing what follows after that. Things shift radically in people's lives. I've seen instantaneous healings. I've seen people get jobs after months and months and months of not having financial security. I've seen people sell their homes that have been on the market for 2 or 3 years. I've
Mm.
seen all sorts of different sudden and instantaneous shifts take place.
Let's
I've also
go.
seen slower shifts take place too. Sometimes it's not instant.
Well, for sure. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
there's going to be all different
Mhm.
levels, maybe things that come to you instantly and then things that take some time. I want to get into the anatomy of kind of how you see some of these instant shifts because we were talking about Jesus, we are talking about he was so sort of embodied to his higher self that he could, at some level, just like shift reality. You create, reality just through his words. When you see something shift rapidly, and we're not doctors, we're probably not scientists either, but when you see something like a physical condition shift or a money situation shift, explain kind of how you might dissect what is going on, in the physical plane and in the causal plane. How would you describe what's actually causing that shift to occur?
Yes. So I don't often get into discussions of quantum mechanics,
Mhm.
but it does play a role here.
Okay.
What I mentioned earlier was that the energy that you radiate is reflected back to you by the universe.
Okay.
And when the universe reflects the energy back to you, it doesn't judge that energy. It doesn't decide, oh, this is good or this is bad. I should send something else back. In its unconditional love, the
Mhm.
universe perfectly reflects whatever energy you broadcast outward. And you can call the universe, the word that I use, you can call it the quantum field if you would like. So at any given point in time, there is an infinite number of possible futures available to you. And as you make an observation, as you direct your attention, as you direct your focus in a certain um, onto a certain outcome, you increase the probability of that outcome out of all the millions and billions of different possible outcomes. You increase the possibility of that happening. And in quantum physics, they would talk about this as, collapsing the waveform,
Right.
as you, by observing, by witnessing, and by savoring the desired outcome, you actually radically improve the probability of that outcome happening. And then that's how a shift occurs, if that makes any sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this, I think, is very important to understand. The universe itself, or the quantum field, if you prefer that language, is inherently neutral. It
Mhm.
is defined by unconditional love. Its love is in the way it reflects energy back to you. That's how it expresses its love, by being a mirror. So if you broadcast joy energy, the universe in its love for you reflects that joy energy back at you again. It's unconditional love in that it doesn't judge whatever energy you're broadcasting. If you're broadcasting the energy of self hatred, the universe doesn't stop and say, well, that's a really bad energy for that person to be broadcasting. Let's see if we can fix this. The universe unconditionally accepts the energy that you're broadcasting and reflects it back to you. And what you end up with is more and more opportunities to prove yourself right that you deserve to hate yourself. So the universe can work for you or it can work against you depending on what energy you choose to broadcast at any given moment.
All right. Interesting. And very true. So we're going to go to some questions because I want to take this and then maybe with what you're going through in your life or what you're experiencing in your reality, how this could align in a way that could help you to move forward if you begin to embody more of what Patrick has discovered creates these instantaneous shifts. So I want to get this right to everyone here today to help you through what you're going through so you can see a higher potentiality because that's always what Patrick and I are here to do. So
Mhm.
Patrick, is it okay if we take some questions?
Yes, please.
All right, this is going to be fun. Okay, so go ahead and raise your hand. I'm going to start from the very bottom today. I want to go with let's see. I love this name. Okay, you got me. You got me, Kim. Kim Possible. All right, we got Kim Possible. So I'm going to set it up, unmute request to Kim. And if y'all could just take one question or one big thing that you're dealing with and see where Patrick can lend some support or some guidance. Kim, are you there? Sending you an unmute quest. And if you're not able to, I'll go to Daphne next. So let me see. Kim going once, going twice, going three times.
There
Or
she
there
is.
she is. Hey, Kim.
Hi, how are you doing?
I love it. I love your name, Kim Possible.
Oh, thank you. It's been my nickname since like high school. But I want to thank you for being here. I appreciate the live and free information here. It's
Yeah.
very great. I appreciate it. I guess my question is like I just don't know. I'm sorry. I just wasn't. I guess I wasn't ready. So oh,
What's going
there.
on in your
I guess it's
life
my
or what?
overthought. My overthinking tends to get in the way, and I like worry about what others think. But other times I feel like super confident and like I
Yeah.
can conquer the world. It's I believe like it was past trauma that was my last relationship, then I guess that would help just to heal it and all that. But um, I just
Sounds like
I
it.
don't know, it's just
Yeah. Is that
Okay.
coming up right now as you talk
oh
about it?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I feel like what we need to do most right now is send out some soothing, loving energy,
Hmm.
because it's very clear that there is some intense trauma that's bubbling underneath the surface. And you are very good at making it through the day, of kind of pushing down the energy that is trying to bubble up. You are very good at ignoring it. You're very good at getting things done, even though there is this trauma and this pain nagging at you. But it's bubbling under the surface, and it will, if not released, it will erupt outward in a pretty dramatic way. So, what I want to do for you and for everyone else on the call is send out some soothing energy, because you are a cauldron on low boil right now. And it's interesting. I want to commend you on how competent you are and how capable you are at getting things done, even though there is this stuff bubbling up underneath. But until you release that stuff that's bubbling up underneath, you're never really going to truly step into your power 100%.
right,
Um, Whenever there is repressed emotional energy, and you do have a significant, more than you're giving yourself, more than you're actually admitting, there's more trauma in your past relationship than you're actually saying out loud. If you push that down and ignore it, it can fragment your personality, first of all, but it can
okay,
also erupt outward at inappropriate times, and lead to situations where you like embarrass
uh,
yourself in front of a boss or somebody like that.
right,
So yeah, let's just do the soothing for everyone. So
so,
anything that's bubbling up under the surface that you're trying to ignore, let's see if we can release it and send it up into creator's light so that energy can be reabsorbed and used elsewhere. Okay. So any energy that's repressed does not go away. All it does is become pressurized, and then it trips you when you least expect it. Okay. Soothing. Okay, everyone take a deep breath and hold it for a moment. And release when you're ready. Okay. 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 So are you feeling better? I know you put yourself back on mute, but are you feeling better?
I am feeling better. I do practice breathing techniques. But yeah, I'm really good at hiding and getting through the day. You're right on point.
Yeah.
I guess I needed somebody to actually say that to me, that I can
Yeah.
trust,
Let
that I
it
can.
out. Yeah. Feel free to let it out. If you need to grab a pillow and scream into it for 5 minutes a day, then do that. But let it out.
Yes, I like to work physically, so it's kind of a I already yeah. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Kim.
you.
You already
God
sound
bless you all.
better. God
Thank you very
bless you.
much.
Thank you. So with Lightbridge, Patrick, we're going to go to Daphne next, but in that type of work for her, and maybe for other people here that resonate, what would be kind of the process? What would be the bridge that we would look to create to, her higher essence, and how might that begin to help her?
Well, in a private session, we would try to dig down to the actual trauma itself so that we
Okay.
can release that trauma.
Mm.
But traumas never materialize out of a vacuum. Everything is preconditioned. So we would also be looking at past life instances of the same type of
Mm.
traumatic energy. We'd be looking for traumatic patterns that exist within her family heritage, her lineage, past lives, and so forth. Because when we experience a terrible trauma in this lifetime, like I said, it's always preconditioned by something else. And if we can get to the original
Right.
trauma and heal it there, then we can heal the entire lineage of that trauma as it moves forward in time.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, definitely something that is so key for us to do is to get into that deeper aspect of where all this began. So I would recommend that for Kim. I want to go to Daphne. Daphne, you're live with us. Looks like you're unmuted. What's happening today?
Hi. Well, this is very fascinating to me. This is a really excellent session, and I'm enjoying it so much. But I'm wondering, is there any, I know you say that you've cured like cancer and so forth, but this is not my knees are really bad. They're bone on bone, and I've tried everything to avoid surgery. Is
Mhm.
there anything that you can tell me or anything that would help me?
Can I make one quick point? I don't recall Patrick ever saying he's cured cancer,
Not,
nor would
not,
we say
not
that on the
cured. No,
call.
I agree. I agree that I
Yeah.
know.
I had mentioned in the beginning that there were some studies where people changed how they ate and the
Changed.
blood was
Yeah.
able to actually combat cancer
Yeah.
cells more effectively. But I just want to be clear for
Yeah.
everybody because
No,
we don't
no,
make those
Yeah.
claims.
I just wanted to quickly say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yes, it is correct. I have never cured cancer as far as I know. Nobody's ever told me that. Maybe it's happened, maybe it hasn't. I don't know. But I don't think so. Um, so, healing works in a number of different ways. Sometimes you can get a miraculous healing that defies physical explanation. But sometimes you get a process. And what I mean by that is sometimes a pathway opens up for you in order to get the surgery that you need in order to heal whatever it is that is ailing you in the best and most effective way for you personally.
Mhm.
So if you have bone on bone, what you're literally asking for is a miraculous healing.
Exactly.
And I can't guarantee miracles,
No.
especially on the medical front. What
Mhm.
I can do is go into the energy of whatever it was that created that mess in the
Mm.
first place
Uh-huh.
and ease pain and open up pathways for healing that are appropriate for you.
Thank you. That would
And
be wonderful.
who knows, maybe it would be a miracle, but chances are it just means that you would find the right doctor who would uh, do the surgery in the most beneficial way for you possible.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever you can do.
Okay. Yeah. So, and I'm sending out supportive energy right now as I'm talking about it. Um, and sending it, just so you know, whenever I'm working with one individual person on a call like this, I'm actually sending the energy to everyone, and everyone is free to accept it or reject it, however you want to, depending on your needs.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Daphne. Okay, so could you and everyone else take a deep breath and hold it for a moment? And then release when you're ready. Okay. Okay, Daphne, how are you doing?
Thank you. Wow. I feel great right now.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Mind over matter, but you work wonders.
Oh, thank
Wow.
you. Thank you.
Wow. And I am so curious. This is something, and maybe a deeper session would be helpful to understand how her higher self may want to help her understand this,
Yes.
unwrap this. Like, what does this actually mean in relation to her soul's journey, and why did it show up, like you
Yeah.
said?
Yeah.
And then from that, you unwind the energy, and now a different set of timelines come forward. And Patrick's right; you may find the right treatment. There might be some, what is it, plasma, platelet rich plasma protocol, or something else, that is out there. So yeah,
Yeah.
we can open a whole world of shifts through understanding this. So thank you, Daphne, and keep sharing with us what you're feeling. I want to go to Susie in New Zealand. Susie, how are you doing today? We've got Patrick alive and we're rock and rolling. This is amazing. And is there maybe a message you want from your higher self, or maybe in terms of what's going on in your life?
Yeah, thank you. God bless you both and all.
Hi,
Thank you
Susie.
so much. Just checking in, you were talking about the quantum field and coming more into that. I find it a challenge just to stay present in that as to what I want rather than what I don't want, and that gap, to come back into the remembrance of that.
Yes.
I mean, there seems to be blocks about that I
It,
I just forget, total amnesia about staying present in the highest possible consciousness, really.
yeah.
So, yes.
It's normal, it's natural, and it's human to be in the energy of trying to avoid pain. So it's actually a human evolutionary gift to be aware of potential problems and to be aware of the things that you desire, that you want, and so forth, that you lack, that you would like to have. Um, we live in a world of polarity, and it's really hard to understand what you truly desire if you don't simultaneously have an understanding of what it's like not to have that desire. But it's up to you to choose which energy you want to inhabit. Do you want to inhabit the energy of not having the desire met, the pain of not having it? Or do you want to inhabit the energy of having it so that you increase the probability exponentially that that's what's going to emerge for you? So it takes practice. We're not trained in how to do this as children. Children aren't taught how to do this. And therefore, it becomes habitual to always be in the pain of what we don't have. When you're a child and you want something, you want a piece of candy or you want a bicycle or something, you naturally fall into the pain of not having that piece of candy. So it needs to be rewired in the brain. It needs to become a new habit for you to inhabit, and then that requires practice. So you're on the right track. You're doing the right things. You just need to force yourself to do it more often.
Right.
Savor your desires. That's where the magic is.
Okay. So, it, how just in practical terms of savoring, sounds fantastic. Um, so I do struggle to mentally stay in my focus with that. So
Mhm.
up until now, anyway, and so you're talking like, do I need to visualize more, or do I need to affirm more, or to stay in that savoring consciousness?
Um, it depends on what your natural inclination is. Visualization is fine. I feel everything. I'm
Okay.
very sensory oriented. I can feel um, deep within my body a lot of energy. Events like this are actually sometimes energetically draining for me because there's so much energy in the room right now, and I can
Yes.
feel all of it, and I feel like I'm being pulled in 30 directions simultaneously.
Yes.
So when I want to savor joy, it's not difficult for me to feel the joy. Now
Right.
you can envision if that's your primary sensory orientation.
No, it's not actually, but I'm probably more a bit like you. I'm quite empathic, so I
Yeah.
think I think the feeling thing is
So just feel it. Feel it in the pit of your stomach. Feel it in your heart. Feel it
right.
throughout your entire body. The joy of having your desire met, even if you don't have it yet.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Thank
God
you.
bless you. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you, Susie. And the other aspect of this, Patrick, and I don't know if this is Susie or anyone here, but sometimes our past life experiences, our unresolved disappointments are kind of, putting out kind of like this blinking light. So every time we think, okay, we can savor or experience something that we want in the now, we're remembering. And so it may be useful sometimes to go back and make sure that we uncover that so that these things don't affect our future. Do you agree, or
Oh,
can we
yeah.
just buy? Okay. So that might be something a deeper look might help her with. I want to, Susie, so I want to go to Tess, who, let me see, Tess, you could just unmute yourself, or I can try to. See, there
Oh,
you are.
thanks so much. God bless you both. I appreciate you taking the call.
Hello.
So I'm needing help with the shift here. I grew up with in a very religious household, and was the sensitive black sheep of the family, and continue to be. And my mom is elderly now, and she, needs me. But it's just so hard to be around her. Um,
Hmm.
she's at a, tender age. She's 88, and she's just a nasty person. And so with that comes like a lot of Catholic guilt
Yeah.
about like not being there for her at this time.
Yeah.
Um, but yet it's like self-protective to limit my exposure to her. And I just need help in like shifting this, or I don't know.
I yes, it's very, very important to have solid boundaries. But when you've grown up in an environment in which you have been systematically shamed and guilted into behaving in a certain way, it's almost impossible for you to suddenly set up boundaries out of nowhere. The boundaries are very, very important because she does have she doesn't care what the boundaries are. She will trample them no matter what. And you being in a position where you feel this obligation to help out, even though that means that you have to be reminded of all the shame and guilt and all the other stuff that's been piled upon you every year of your life. That's difficult. I can understand why that would be difficult. So, what I think we can open up for you is a pathway where you can focus in on the present moment. Part of what's happening is every time she says something nasty to you, it triggers the memory of all of the guilt and shame that's been leveled upon you your entire life. So you don't just hear the present comment, you feel every single time it's ever happened in the past all at once simultaneously. The other thing is, she knows exactly what your trigger points are, and she knows exactly how to push your buttons. And those
Yeah.
buttons cause you, once again, to cascade into the memory of every single time you've been shamed in your entire life. So let's see if we can open up a pathway for you where you can focus in on the present moment exclusively and see if we can neutralize those triggers that cause you to fall into the memory of every other time the thing has happened. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah.
So with the help of your higher self, we're going to open this up for you. And if anyone else in the group is in a similar situation, uh, this ability to compartmentalize and stay in the present moment is crucial. So this is a light bridge attunement. We're actually connecting through you to your higher self, and we're drawing forth the blueprint of how to stay present and focused and to compartmentalize, at least temporarily, as that's understood and enjoyed by your higher self, and opening up that skill for you right now. Okay. And it may feel impossible. So anywhere you've decided that it's impossible, let's clear that away. Anywhere you've decided that you don't have permission for this, that you're forbidden to have it, that it would be dangerous for you to focus on just the present moment and forget about the previous instances. Anything at all that blocks you from having this attunement, to clear it away now. So the goal, once again, is to be able to compartmentalize and to stay 100% present without being triggered into the past. That way, you can do what you need to do and then move on. Beautiful. Take a deep breath and hold it for a moment. And release when you're ready. Okay, and now just for everyone, I know you didn't ask for this, but I do want to do a generalized cleansing of shame energy that people have picked up, because I do feel that there is a lot of, there has been a lot of weaponization of shame and guilt imposed upon a lot of people in this group. So let's do a cleansing. Wash that energy out of your system and send it up into Creator's light so that energy can be used elsewhere for good. So washing away weaponized shame, weaponized guilt. Okay. Okay, beautiful. Everyone take a deep breath and hold it for a moment. And release when you're ready. Wow. Wow. Okay. Blockage in the throat as well. So yeah, big blockage there. You're not free to say what you want to say. You have to bite your tongue. So yeah. So additional clearing energy for that feeling of having to bite your tongue, having to swallow your words, not being allowed to speak your truth. Let's do some washing away of that for everyone as well. So how are you feeling?
I felt a lot of almost pressure or energy. First, it started more like almost in my ears and then went into my head. But then it seemed to dissipate, after we took a couple breaths.
Mm-hmm.
It's tricky. I'm just going to have to see how going forward,
Yeah, see if you can compartmentalize.
I grew up I'm an empath, and I grew up in a household of narcissists.
Mm-hmm.
My mother being the ultimate,
Yeah.
and so I know on some level I picked that family. I understand all that, but this is kind of
Yes.
culmination. It's kind of a culmination of all of it. you know,
Yeah.
and I can even see how planning her funeral, I'm getting pressured by my siblings even. And it's the same manipulative energy. You know, you act this way and you get our love. If you act that way, you don't. And that's been so it's been my entire life, and now it's in my face, let's say, because of timing.
Patrick, how can embodying her higher self blueprint help her in this? I get this sense that if we seek validation, and not necessarily validation, but if others can affect us, right? And because I go through this as well, I have a very kind of similar things coming in my life, and where I've found peace and my true knowing and acceptance hasn't been from really anybody in the third dimension. There's something much higher that gives me all of that, and I just feel that there is a pathway that's going to give her that peace, because it's probably not going to come, Tess, from anyone in your life right now that's family, because it's just a karmic pattern. It's
Yeah, you're
yeah.
right. So the Higher Self Embodiment Blueprint, which is a package that I put together, it helps you grow into your higher self. It helps you get rid of the trauma, the triggers, the buttons, the limiting belief systems. Um, in your case, you had all of it piled upon you with a very healthy helping of emotional blackmail and emotional extortion. And by um, going through this program that I've set up, it will help you step into your own power and no longer be um, driven by everyone else's desires. And if somebody tries to emotionally extort you, you just laugh in their face, you know. It's you don't allow it to happen anymore because you set up your boundaries properly.
Yeah. And I found, and Tess, I know you're a medium and very connected. I found like I can read their thoughts, like just as they're having them,
Sure.
in the direction I'm trying to get moved to. And it can just drive me crazy, because I'm like, oh, I know exactly what you're trying to, I know exactly what you're thinking in that moment. And it makes it worse, like it's louder, right? So
Mhm.
there is something else that I think, and like Patrick says, I think there's something else to get to and to lean into that will
Yes.
be very helpful. I know what I feel what you're going through in my own way, and I send love to you.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Thank you. The
Mm.
the healers need help too. So thank you
Yeah.
for being there.
Thank you,
Well,
Tess.
well, yeah, it's like we're getting it from every angle, like you know. It's just amazing. Thank you, Tess. So I want to go to well, I want to do a live process actually. We're gonna take some more rapid fire questions. Patrick, I want to get to a live process. I don't remember what we have planned today, so it's gonna be a surprise.
Well, we've got a nice follow-up to what we did the last time.
Oh,
So
okay,
the
good.
last time we did the clair of your choice. You remember the
That's right. That's right.
five sensory forms of intuition, and the people who were listening chose clairaudience, clairsentience, clairgustance, clairvoyance, or whatever they wanted. Today we are doing claircognizance,
Mm,
claircognizance, which is a higher dimensional gift. It's definitely more advanced than clairvoyance or clairsentience. It's the intuitive gift of knowing. And it goes beyond the senses. You just know. You go directly to
mm.
source, or you go directly to your higher self, and you pick up the information there, and it just emerges fully formed in your mind without you needing to feel it or see it or smell it or whatever to know it's there. So, shall we dive into this?
Let's do it. And really quick, Patrick, how would this help us? How would we use this just knowing? Could we use this for decisions, for maybe a choice of A, B, in terms of like a path or decision point? How would
Yeah,
you use this?
yeah. It shortens that pathway quite a bit. Yes. So like if you do a lot of muscle testing takes time. Wouldn't it be nice to just know what
Yeah.
the answer is?
Yeah.
So yeah, it speeds things up dramatically. And when you are getting information directly from source, what's interesting about claircognizance is you begin to pick up information that goes beyond the questions that you're asking. It is a gateway to opening yourself up to being a channel. So as you develop your claircognizance, your gift of channeling will begin to come online as well. So it's powerful. It's yeah.
I love it. Real quick, everyone, let us know what you've been feeling as we get started here. We're going to open this up and give you some deeper knowing. Maybe there's a decision, maybe there's a choice point, maybe there's someone telling you something and you're kind of listening, you're kind of believing it, but deep down you feel like, I don't know. Maybe I should just pause. Wouldn't it be great to have this right there at your fingertips? And now you say, you know what? That's not my higher path. I'm going to choose differently. Let's activate that today. Because there is, Patrick, and there's so much diversion and inversion in the world today where we are getting pulled, misled, manipulated. The marionette strings, are kind of getting hooked on our emotions and we're getting pulled here and there.
Yeah,
We need
that's
to
what I'm
know the
feeling
truth.
right now. I
Yeah.
feel, stretched. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, so first of all, safety is the number one concern. Do not do this if you are driving or operating machinery, because I will be invoking a light hypnotic trance. I'm actually invoking a theta brainwave state, and that can make you feel sleepy or a little bit lightheaded. So no operating machinery. Okay. And please allow me to connect with you energetically, connect with your higher self, connect with any angels or guides that you may want to invite along. Okay, beautiful. So now that we're connected, please say yes to accept and receive a light bridge attunement for claircognizance.
Yes. Yes.
Claircognizance, as that is understood and enjoyed by your higher self. The gift of knowing beyond the senses. We're taking the template or the blueprint for claircognizance as it's held by the higher self, and we're applying it to you in your